Oh, should we break this? Probably not. I don't know. This is kind of a cool ravine. I've never really been in this area before, but we're really not far from our base. It's just over there. But I came over here to get the acacia wood for our tree farm this episode that we're going to be doing. Uh-oh. Thank God that water's there. Yeah, look at this, man. We could totally do something over here. I don't know what. I have no idea what, but I don't know. What would look cool in this ravine? Overall, I do have a good idea on what I want this tree farm to kind of look like in general. It's going to be pretty manual, right? Like, I looked up tree farm ideas, and a lot of them are like automatic tree farms with pistons and TNT and all that kind of stuff. I'm just kind of a little weird to the extent of that I like to do chores in Minecraft. So when it comes to like farming and stuff like that, okay. And I have to break these anyway. I don't think I have any dirt. Oh, I do have scaffolding. Oops. So like I was saying, when I do farms and all that kind of stuff, I like to kind of do it manually more than anything because I don't know. I think it's a pretty fun chore to just kind of keep busy in the world and stuff like that. If I don't want to do any building, then I can actually spend time to just kind of farm and whatnot. So I find Minecraft kind of fun in that sense. I know a lot of people don't. Maybe later in the game when we really do hit late game in this world, maybe then we will start to do some like auto farming and stuff like that. The idea of this tree farm is going to be split into a couple different sections, and we're going to have some structures kind of set up here too. So basically the structures are going to basically be on this piece of land here, on this stone. I would like to build like a lumber mill. And that will kind of act as our storage for saplings and bone meal and maybe other tree droppings that we're going to get. We can just kind of store there, at least for temporary storage. And then in the future, we're going to have a building just on the, almost beside our tall mansion structure here. And we're going to have a rail going from our mill to that building. And that's going to, over there, that's going to be the wood storage building. And I kind of have some cool ideas for that. So we'll get there in the future when we actually get to building that part. But for now, I want to focus on the actual tree farm this episode. I'm going to start with terraforming the land, and that's going to show us what the placement is going to look like for everything that's going to be around. Like, that's going to show us where we can easily have everything placed. The reason why I have so much stone is because I was actually thinking about, for the most part, the floor in this area, the ground that we're going to be walking on, to mostly be stone. And I'm realizing that there's a lot of grass over here, so it's like, would I really want to replace this grass with stone? Because we would need a lot more stone. We have it, it's just going to be pretty time consuming. Or maybe we could kind of just go 50-50, and I think that's what we're probably going to do. That's kind of what it's already set up like. This area is already grass, and this area over here is all stone. I want to replace all of the diorite, the andesite, and granite. I want to replace all of that with stone as well. So, and then probably mix in some coarse dirt too to kind of place down some paths and just a little bit of style mixed in with the stone, because we don't want everything to look like so plain. And then maybe over here where the other part of the tree farm is going to be, we'll have paths too. All right, so I got a little bit of terraforming down, a little bit more stone here to make everything look a bit more smooth, and I think it's looking kind of cool, to be honest. I am now playing with the height of the roof above where we're going to be planting the saplings. So I tried birch. I don't know if it's really worth doing it with birch, because birch really just doesn't grow that high in the first place. So with oak, I think I have it set to like 7 high, I think. I think that's reasonable. I think that might be what a lot of people usually do too. I think oak trees actually do grow just side by side like this, so we can just get a wall of trees here. But I don't know how accurate that always is and how quick that always is when you are using bone meal on trees. And if they only grow with bone meal, like if we don't use bone meal, like would they grow that close anyway? I'm not too sure. There's still a lot about tree farming that like I really don't know that much about. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out if it's worth doing it. I tried using the acacia over here, and I think the acacia trees will probably just grow freely. Like, we'll probably just kind of plant them wherever, and we'll just let them grow wherever. We don't really have to have them grow in, like, specific spots all the time and try to get the same trees every time. I mean, I can't even imagine us, like, using acacia logs that much in the future, but I don't know. Well, like, you never know what builds we'll be doing in the future either. So I'm still trying to figure out all of the placement for our tree planting locations. I think over here is definitely going to be one. I have a pretty simple design in mind how I want to kind of set this up. These are not just going to be floating ceilings. Like, I'm going to try to make it look a little bit better. Birch will probably be in the far area over there, and I think I might have jungle trees here. And then for the spruce trees, we're going to do the 2x2 spruce trees. Probably somewhere like maybe over there where those trees are sitting right there. And that will be pretty close to the actual mill that we're going to have up here in the future. I'd like to get that started this episode, maybe even finished. I don't know. I really wanted to work on the mansion over here too. I don't know. It depends how long I work on this area for. If we don't get to the mansion this episode, then we'll probably do it next episode. And the actual, like, the other district that we worked on last episode for, like, the colored blocks and stuff like that, as if now I actually haven't done any more work over there. So I have nothing to show off yet. So we might go over there a little bit later. But for now, I want to focus on the tree farm. That is a second priority if we don't get to it this episode, next episode. And I think the acacia trees are going to go down there too. I'm doing a lot of rambling this episode. I don't know if it's going to come off, like, weird or not, but yeah. I'm doing, like, so much talking. I can't really think straight this episode. I don't know. My mind is weird. Okay. I'm going to get to work, and I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, so I did a little bit more work here, and this is pretty much what I'm going for the oak part of the farm. I thought I'd kind of design it using some oak, but I like using the spruce for the roof. I hope that's not an issue. So anyway, I did some grow testing too, and yeah, so we can pretty easily get the wall of oak trees, which is really nice. I have a little bit of stone brick wall in my inventory too, and I wanted to kind of maybe give this build just a little bit more of a, maybe a little bit more of a stone look on the bottom. I think that could look kind of cool. And the spacing is also nice too, because we had to make sure that these leaves would not touch these logs. Otherwise, those leaves would not despawn, but I'm pretty sure that all the leaves should despawn now. So we're going to test it here in a couple seconds, and we're going to see how efficient, well, how efficient and how productive this farm is going to be for us. If it's going to produce a lot of goods, let's find out. All right, so we got 4 stacks and just a little bit. That's actually pretty good. I think we're going to keep that farm just the way it is. Originally I was thinking about maybe having a separate building too, like this building and then maybe another building for the oak. But honestly, I think this should be pretty good. The idea of that was to, if we chop all of these trees, we'll give the leaves time to despawn. If we just switch to another building and then we start chopping over there, maybe I still will do that. If you guys like that idea, let me know. Otherwise, if we chop all of these down and we go straight back into planting more saplings, then it's going to keep these leaves, and then we won't be able to get the all of the goods, because the next trees will just grow into these leaves. So we're going to stick with the oak design like this, and then the birch will be a very similar but smaller design too. And perhaps I'll try to mix in some actual birch logs or planks or anything like that with that build, so we can kind of keep it matching, if that makes sense. You know, we have the oak logs here for the oak farm, and then we'll use some birch wood for the birch farm too. Woo! Forgot about the dark oak. But I think I got a design figured out for that area too. I was going to use that area for the jungle trees, but we could probably just try to move that somewhere else. So I've got this birch section set up here, and along with the dark oak, and we still have our oak pretty much intact just as it was. I added just for style, I kind of added these trap doors. I think the spruce looks probably the best. And then I replaced all the dirt in the middle with coarse dirt, so we don't have any grass spreading or anything like that. I think it just looks a little bit better that way too. Yeah, so I figured out that with the dark oak trees, that they actually do grow side by side, like they don't need a space in between them, just like the oak and the birch. So we're basically just going to farm that kind of the same way. They branch out just a little bit, but that's okay. It's still pretty much in reaching range for us. And again, like the other buildings too, the birch and the oak, we built an arch-like structure over where we're going to be planting the trees just to prevent them from spawning any higher. Because when we are mining like this, we don't have to jump up and try to get the top log or anything like that. They're low enough for us to kind of stay on this level, so it's pretty convenient for us. I have yet to actually try this at its full capacity, like growing all the saplings here, but I don't even think I have enough saplings to fill out this coarse dirt section right now, so maybe we'll do that in a little bit. This open area here, I'm not overly sure exactly what I want to do here. We could farm trees, but I think I'd actually kind of like to terraform it a little bit more and maybe add like a pond here or something like that as well. So I think the next thing I want to tackle now is probably the actual mill itself. We don't have a lot of land to work with up here, but I think that's going to be okay. It is going to be a pretty small building. It is going to kind of be its own thing. And I do have a design in mind that I would like to use for it. And I think that's pretty much it. I need to get the resources now. I need a lot of oak and some stone and some spruce. And I think that's pretty much just going to be the only resources that we're going to be using. Kind of like this one here. It's going to be similar resources, right? All right, so I'm going to see how this looks. Okay, cool. This is looking pretty decent, I think. I I had to run around the world because I knew I was doing another wooden roof for this build, and I wanted to make sure that oak roofs were something that we actually haven't done too much on. So we actually haven't. I don't think we really have any oak roofs. I mean, other than the village houses that we were doing earlier, like an episode or two ago. But I think this is looking pretty good. I got some fences that I'm probably going to try to work in to the build now. And this is kind of it. Like, this is kind of what the majority of the build is just going to kind of look like. So now we kind of have our mill set. We got to place down all the chests in there. We got to light up this place so nothing spawns really on the outside. And the thing is, on the roofs too, do we really go out of our way to light up the roofs as well? Maybe we do, because if we get some creepers or skeletons, well, mostly creepers. We don't want creepers dropping down and blowing up on us while we're just mining out these trees, right? Because if a creeper spawns up there, it will easily drop down. Where if this was a full roof, like if it was a full roof like that, we'd typically be safe because the creeper wouldn't be able to drop down into the building. But here they can. Even on top of the leaves. But I don't think mobs spawn on leaves. I could be wrong, but I don't think they do. Interesting. Okay. So the idea for this would be having scaffolding kind of set up like this permanently that we wouldn't want to take down. And I would also want it to look kind of nice too. You know how this building over here that we're working on, I have the scaffolding kind of set up around it. I think the scaffolding looks really nice, but obviously this is going to have to be torn down. But really how it kind of turned out, like, the scaffolding looks really nice just for decoration, just to kind of have around. So I kind of want to take this look of having the scaffolding around a project, but in this case, it's going to be a tree for our farm. And I want to have the scaffolding kind of stand out and look nice while it still kind of has a function of us using it to climb up and chopping the tree down. But I think that's the idea of that. I think I'd like to do it with the jungle over here as well, the jungle trees, when we get that planted. And I think I'll probably place some of that stuff down, and I'll try to do a little bit more decorating, and then I'll give you guys an update on how this area is looking. All right, guys, so I did some more work to the tree farm. I was just over at the area over there where the bees are to get some campfires. No, I did not take them from the bees themselves. I was just making some campfires to bring over to this area because I think campfires would look pretty good. Yeah, so overall, I would say, like, with literally every other area in this world, it's not done. It's not. No, it's just... Uh-oh, is it getting dark? Okay. Anyway, so I'll just, I'll head into it now. You will see that I put some lamps around. I put some logs down, too. And I try to get the paths kind of figured out. There's lots of logs around. I tried to go kind of heavy on it, but maybe not so much. So we're actually going to see what it kind of looks like at nighttime. I went ahead and I built a bridge here too. This is actually, there's a rail on top of that. So we're going to be having the minecart run from this station, this mill/station, into the bridge, and that's going to cross. I'll show you what it looks like on the other side. It actually looks kind of cool. What else to talk about? I have a little small lake here. I put a log in there just for detail. I was trying to focus on to make it a bit more detailed, this area more detailed in ways that I haven't really done before. Like, for instance, like having these mossy slabs kind of kicking around just to kind of look like rocks, I guess. All right, so I'm going to sleep real quick. It should look better in the daytime. There's not enough lamps to light up the place yet, so there's probably going to be mobs spawning when I start walking around. So I'm having bad luck now with this part of the farm here because these trees were growing side by side like no problem, but now they don't really want to grow. And I don't know if I should be bone mealing like a specific sapling or whatnot. But they were growing side by side, but now like that one grew and that one grew, but I just can't really seem to get them to grow anymore. A little frustrating, but I actually do have a lot of dark oak logs here. Yeah, there's some here. There's more. Oh yeah, there's a bunch here. Because I went to the dark oak forest to go chop down some dark oak for the saplings. I'm coming to realize that it's pretty hard to get saplings for these trees because they really don't drop as many saplings as you would think. And you need 4 saplings to grow one of these trees. So it's kind of a hassle trying to get saplings. So honestly, I don't even think I'll be using this that often unless there's a better system for it. But yeah, with the spruce trees over here, that one grew no problem. But I think I got to be careful with the scaffolding because I don't think the spruce trees will grow if the scaffolding is too close. And something I'm also noticing too. See, I told you mobs were going to spawn. Oh, there's a llama. Okay. Look at that. Look at this guy. What are you doing up there? That's funny. Anyway, I had to come over here anyway. It's pretty dark. I have to light this place up, actually. Maybe you need a campfire. So when I'm cutting down these trees as well, I'm realizing that a lot of the drops from the leaves, if it's the apples, if it's the sticks or the saplings, they're landing on the scaffolding too. So maybe the scaffolding is not the best system, but I think it looks okay. Floating island. I have a staircase here. I don't know what else I would like to do with this area to kind of get it all figured out and polished. If you come up here, you can see this is the mill. And I put the stone cutter down just for, you know, it kind of looks like we're chopping logs up here. We're not, though. We're really not. And yeah, I have a log hanging here from the ceiling. It's kind of hard to notice, but I got some chains. I don't know how realistic that is to have hanging logs in a mill like this. But I also have another one right here. But that's kind of hidden. We're not really going to see it unless we're coming from over here. Like, if we have anything over here that we want to build in the future, I mean, that will look kind of cool from down here, but I think for the most part, I don't know. And what else? I don't really know if there's a whole lot left to say about this area, but this is it. I mean, this is the lumber yard. This is our This is our new area to the world, I guess. If you guys have any suggestions on like what I should be adding here, what I need to change, how can I make it look a little bit more dense? Like what could I add for detail? All that kind of stuff. Like what do you think would go good in a lumberyard? All right, how does that look? Does that look pretty cool? I think something I'm a little worried that maybe it's a little too much of the support, so maybe we could try to kind of to arch it at the bottom. Maybe that's something we could do. But I think next episode we're finally going to work on this together. It's literally been a couple weeks since I've worked on it, so I'll have to kind of take some time and try to figure out where I left off on it, but I don't think it'll be that big of an issue. Anyway, guys, on that note, I think I did quite a bit of work this episode regarding the area behind me with all the scaffolding. Every time I walk around my world, I realize that there's a lot of scaffolding just kicking around. I don't really clear it up. Those trees right above my head, I can take those down now because our tree over there above my head now is the one replacing that section. So yeah, so I think it's looking pretty good. Ooh, you can see our tower over in the distance and our enchanting tower too. So it's nice that we kind of have these landmarks around the world now. And this building, this mansion that we're building now. Uh-oh. There we go. This is kind of another landmark on its own now too. So I think that's looking pretty nice. Yeah, so next episode. Oh, I just fought you guys. Oh, I guess my bad omen's gone now. I just fought those guys. Anyway. Yeah, so we will be focusing on this building next episode, I promise. And then probably I'll touch up some things on the tree farm if I have time. And then within the next episode, after the next one or so, I would like to get back to the other district that we were in regarding the colored blocks that we're storing and stuff like that. But I have yet to actually do work over there. Lots to do around this world and lots of areas to finish. I still have to finish this bridge. I still have to build a station over here. I want to build another station over here. I got to finish the village. All right, guys. See you next time.